all of a sudden their system stops working and they have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And so with Felicia and Casey's help, that's kind of why we started this whole enhanced services to bring these customers in-house. All right, good morning and welcome to the Huddle. We've got some special guests with us today. So we have Felicia. She's our manager over customer service, does an awesome job. She's been with us for a while. And then we also have Casey Perkins. And Casey Perkins is the vice president of roofing and enhanced services now at ES Solar. It's a mouthful, Casey. So it's been awesome. So Casey's been with the company for a little over a year now?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Okay. And we just recently brought Casey's roofing company in-house. We'll get into that and talk a little bit about that. But welcome, guys. Welcome, Casey, and welcome, Felicia.
Hey, Zach.
So to get kicked off with, maybe tell us a little bit about your background, Casey. I think everyone's curious to know kind of what you've been doing before and why you came on to ES.
Yeah. So I've been in sales for a long time. So I started out in high school doing door-to-door sales. From there, I started an alarm company. We serviced about 5,000 customers nationally. I sold that off, and then I got into solar. It's probably about 6 or 7 years ago. Ran a solar dealership for another company here in Utah, and then left that and started a roofing company and solar washing and roof rejuvenation, and built that out, and then came across to ES. So we started a partnership up about a year and a half ago, and saw that need to where, hey, this makes a lot of sense. And then ES approached me about bringing it all in-house earlier in the beginning of this
Sweet. So, yeah, you're quite the entrepreneur then. So you've done it all. So,
I've done quite a few
And I'll
things.
say this about Casey, he's probably too humble, but he came over to ES because we were doing some pretty neat things with adding batteries, because Rocky Mountain Power, we have this partnership where they wanted us to firm up the existing solar. So we were the only company at the time going and adding batteries, and Casey ran into us a few times and said, hey, how do I get involved in this?
Right.
We were kind of reluctant, honestly, to hire Casey at first because we saw him as a competitor. He was working for a different solar company. We knew how talented he was. But it was an awesome decision to bring you in-house because we brought Casey in, and immediately he became one of our top performing salespeople within the company, selling batteries to existing homeowners.
For sure.
So Casey's really good at what he does.
Yeah. As we've talked a lot in the past, Zach, I had the solar washing business, and we were getting up on all these roofs that were, anywhere from brand new to super old, and they had solar panels on there, and most homeowners were never getting on their roof to see the condition of it. But we were up there washing the panels, and we saw there was this huge need for roofing, and that's when I came across your guys' battery program. It was like, hey, this makes so much sense. We can get them a battery, we can get them a new roof, and we can set a customer up to actually be in a good situation where they were in a bad situation, didn't know what to do before.
Exactly. So maybe talk to us a little bit about your new title. So, okay, you were a sales rep for us for a year. Now we brought you over. You're in charge of roofing and enhanced services. So maybe start with enhanced services and talk to these guys a little bit about what that is and why there's a need for enhanced services within the solar industry.
So just as I was saying there, with enhanced services, Felicia's team has done a phenomenal job. But ultimately, our goal is to find customers that are, we call them orphan customers. Their previous solar company's gone out of business, and they've got a bad roof, or they've got a solar system that's not properly working. They've got issues, and they need help. And so our enhanced service department is designed at helping those customers have somebody take care of them from A to Z.
Awesome.
So whether that be on the roofing side, the solar side, even the maintaining their solar, or just maintaining their roof.
Yeah, I know I can speak to this, and I know Felicia can, because we've been in business for a long time. Mm-hmm. There's 80,000 plus solar customers now in the state of Utah. There's a lot in Idaho. Yeah. We're in Nevada, California now.
For sure.
And there are companies going out of business like crazy. So we say orphans. That's not a joke. There's a lot of people that made the investment 5-6 years ago to go solar, and Felicia can speak to this. But how frustrating is it when all of a sudden their system stops working and they have nowhere to go?
Yeah.
And so with Felicia and Casey's help, that's kind of why we started this whole enhanced services to bring these customers in-house. And so
for sure. And it's neat bringing that roofing component in with that as well, because all these customers, they have solar on their roof, and now their roof is bad. Who do you call? Most roofers don't want to touch the solar because there's a huge liability there. And now we're able to take care of a customer all the way from A to Z.
Yeah, and customers don't want the roofer to do it because they don't know how to hook the solar up.
For sure.
Right? So
they're great at pounding nails, but
yeah, exactly. The solar might be working, and then the roofer comes and pulls the solar off and puts it back on, and then it might not be working.
We had a customer just recently that was the case where a roofer pulled off, stacked the panels on the side of their house, and one of our guys went to set him up with a battery, and they're like, well, can you put these back up there? And the roofer left him kind of in a bad spot there. We've come across quite a few of those.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So it's important to have somebody that knows what they're doing to take care of the customer.
For sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so I think one of the things that we could go over is really what is involved in the program, why customer service is involved, and how we work together to kind of bring that value to the customer through this program. So do you want to kind of go over like the aspects of the program and what we do?
Yeah, so there's a couple different approaches, as you know, Felicia. Our first approach is when our guys are out setting up a new customer, or whether that be adding additional panels to an existing system or adding batteries, we're able to go in, fully inspect their system, fully inspect their roof, see if they're a candidate, they need a new roof, or if we're going to fix something. So we're taking customers there, as well as we have a lot of customers that just call in, right? They call in and say, hey, I need help, and we'll go out, we'll do our 8-point inspection. We're going to bring everything up to code, make sure everything's done properly. And we've seen some pretty crazy things and some amazing that people actually installed solar the way they did, and so we're able to take care of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a few additional points on that is when we go out, the reason why customer service is really involved is we have a team that really helps troubleshoot these systems, right? So these pre-existing systems, they do have a lot of problems frequently. And so, we help them get up and running. We're able to troubleshoot the systems, replace any parts, warranty them under the manufacturer warranty if they are still viable, or provide options for customers to essentially upgrade if they need to.
For sure.
So we take care of all of this prior to the installation of the new battery or a roof if they do get that with us, right?
Absolutely.
And then we're able to get their system completely up and running prior to install and get the customer going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So one cool thing too that I want to talk about that Casey's figured out, and that I think is a huge benefit to customers that are looking to go solar, or they already have solar looking at a battery, is talk to them about the roof tune-up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of customers out there that maybe their roof's only 5 years old, right? But maybe they haven't, they're like me and they're scared to get up on the roof and they don't know if there's issues or not. And I think Casey can speak to this better than anyone, because what are we finding with those, and kind of what do we provide in this roof tune-up service?
So most roofs, even if it's a brand new roof, a lot of homes are built by builders that just knocking them out as quick as possible, and they don't put a lot of attention to craftsmanship and making sure customers are getting the highest product or highest level of product. And so we get on roofs that are 1, 2, 3 years old all the time. That not that it's a drastic, terrible situation, but it's a tube of caulk, it's changing some gaskets, just going and doing basic roof maintenance. So when our guys are getting up there on the roofs, they're doing we call them a roof tune-up, but it's caulking any seals, making sure flashings are done right, just looking for basic maintenance issues where, like you said, Zach, a guy like you're scared of heights. You watch you hold the handrail as you go up the stairs because you're scared of that.
I agree.
So, and that's how most customers are, right? Yeah. And so that gives us the ability to help them out. We provide that service for them, and most people don't know who to call to even know that a roof needs to be maintained.
Yep.
So I'd say a lot of those customers are maybe that brand new to 7 to 10 years old, or most people, there's going to be something that needs to be fixed on their roof, and then a customer that's probably 7 to 15 years old, we provide a service called Roof Max, to where we'll come out, we'll spray their shingles with a soy-based oil, and that oil soaks down into the shingle, and it gives flexibility and permeability to that shingle to extend the life of it. Because particularly now that they have solar on their roof, we want that roof to last as long as possible. Yeah, we love to roof roofs because we're roofers, but we also want to get the best value for our customers.
Right.
And so being able to provide a Roof Max, extends the life of the shingle there. And then once the shingle does reach the end of its life, we were able to offer removing the panels, reinstalling them, and getting a new roof in that process.
Yeah, and this is why we bought Casey's Roofing Company. Yes, Solar bought because we saw such a need. It could be a variety of different needs, right? There's a lot of customers that we deal with that they maybe aren't quite ready for a new roof, and they don't want to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to remove panels, reinstall, or
tens of thousands for the roof,
roof and everything else. So Roof Max just makes so much sense for a lot of customers because we can, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, we can spray underneath the panels. Yep. So it's a lot more affordable. We can prolong the life of the roof for 5, 10, 15 years sometimes. Yeah. And so that saves customers a lot of money.
The Roof Max is a lot like if you put lotion on your hands, right? As they start to dry out, and your skin starts to crack, you can moisturize it, and it's going to, keep it healthier, right? Yeah. And that's the thing is shingles are based out of asphalt, and just like the road that's out front here, or we drive on, as they bake in the sun and they get hot and cold, they expand and contract, and eventually they dry out. And as that shingle expands, they call it thermal cracking. Yep. And the shingles will start to break down, and that's when the granulars fall off the shingles, and that's ultimately it rapidly accelerates as the end of the shingle life is coming. So if we can keep that moisture in the shingle, it lasts a lot longer. So awesome. That's one of the cool things we're able to provide for customers, which we've been doing a lot of them this year. It's actually amazed me.
Yeah, we run into this situation all the time, and that's one of the main concerns that a customer has when they're looking at solar as well. My roof's 10 years old. I don't quite need a new roof yet, but I know I'm going to. So what's that process like? So it's awesome to be able to pivot and say, well, we have this partnership now because of Casey with Roof Max, where we have an affordable solution and we can extend that shingle. Because then, how long does a shingle typically last in Utah?
So the average, for our climate here, the average is about 17 to 22 years, right?
Even if it's a 50-year shingle?
That's a misnomer. Okay. They call them a 50-year shingle. That's just warranties. They'll say it has a prorated warranty over 50 years. That doesn't mean the shingle is going to last 50 years. So the average roof, like I said, is about 17 to 20 years right in there. And so you got to think ahead on that as well. So when we can put Roof Max, or if you got a roof that's bad, is a great time to get a new roof is when you're getting solar at the same time.
Yeah, maybe speak to that. Why, if a customer is getting solar, why does it make sense for them to maybe do both together?
Yeah, there's
probably multiple reasons.
The tax advantages are a huge thing there. So depending on your accountant and how aggressive they are with it, you're going to get the tax credits from adding the solar on there, which is going to help offset the cost of the total project. Which we all want to save as much money as we can, as well as we're going to prepare the roof for solar. We're going to make sure we're doing ice and water under the panels. We're going to do all the things to prepare the project to be done, right from the beginning. Yep. So
cool.
Yeah.
And then the other question that I had before I turn it back over to Felicia, but the other question that I had as part of the acquisition with your company and bringing them into ES Solar, one service that we're providing with Enhanced Services, from what I understand, is solar panel washing. So maybe speak to why that's a good idea. In the past, that's always been something customers have asked me about, and we never offered.
For
that.
Sure.
So now we do. So
solar washing is actually pretty amazing. I had the idea. I mean, I'm not the first one that came up with it, but I had the idea that there's all these customers that need to have their panels taken care of, and washing your panels isn't something you absolutely have to do. Right? It's not a game changer. It's not one thing. It's if you don't wash them, they're going to die. But I'm pretty meticulous with my things. I drive through the car wash. I have a membership. I'm going through there once or twice a week because I want to keep my truck nice. I want to keep it clean. And do I have to wash it? No, I don't. Right? You can drive around forever without washing it a single time. But if you take care of it, it's going to last longer. So same thing with your solar. If you're taking care of it, it's going to keep the oxidation off of it. Especially here in Utah, we get those storms that roll across the Great Salt Lake and it dumps mud, right? Your production is going to go down when there's sediment on the panels, right? Sure. And basically, you've seen it. Every time it rains, especially in the summertime, your car looks dirtier than it did before.
It does.
All that's lining on the panels as well. So this last summer, I washed my panels and I pulled up my Solar Edge app and I watched the production. I screenshotted it, and then I had the guy hop up there, wash it, and then I did it. And within a 5-minute period, my production actually went up 18%.
Yeah. So it does make a difference.
Now I live in South Weaver and we get a lot of dust blowing down the canyon, so my panels were really, really dirty. But it does make a difference.
I will say this. So I did. I've had my solar for over a decade on my house, and it's been working great, no issues. But I did an addition a couple years ago, and with the addition, did a new roof. So we removed the panels. And I never thought that it was a need, and it probably isn't. A lot of customers have never washed their solar panels and they've been fine. But when I saw those panels come off my roof and you get up close to them, I was amazed how dirty. I actually took a towel and wiped them off myself. It'd probably be a lot better to have a solar expert to get up there so you're not scratching or breaking panels. Well, and that's part of the
ES service. When our team comes out and does, we have specialized equipment. We're using a deionized water. We're not putting chemicals on the panels or anything like that. Deionized water is basically like the spot free when you drive through the car wash.
Yeah, so same thing that they use for windows, right? Like when you clean your windows.
Yep. So it's binding all the minerals. It's very, very pure water, and it runs off. And then we have a big pneumatic brush with really, really soft bristles that will spin. So we just get up on top and we wash down on them and runs it all off and cleans it up.
Awesome.
So, but like you said, when you wipe those panels off, they were dirty, and that's keeping all those particles on the panels, keeping the light from getting through to the diodes that produce the energy.
So maybe how many, with our service, how many times do we do that?
Yeah.
So how many times do we come out and
So typically we're going to come wash somebody's panels at least twice a year. So,
Awesome.
And the timing doesn't really matter. We're happy to come out and schedule it according to what the customer wants, but that's what we're including with it. So
Great.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just about to kind of highlight that a little bit and go into the details of how we will come out twice a year, and in addition do the roof tune-up and just a check, right? It's not necessarily tuning up the roof multiple times a year, but at least getting up there, checking, making sure that the roof is still in good condition, taking pictures, and then being able to have like a progression of the roof from the time that we do the install or the initial inspection to 5 years down the road.
Yeah, 5, 10.
And we can show that degradation on the roof and be able to kind of offer
track
that
it.
to the customer.
and keep customers informed of what's going on.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I mean, our teams get up there all the time and find roofs and
Yeah.
issues. I actually had a lady up here up the road here in Layton that I got up there. We were washing her panels, and I looked under them. I'm like, what is that? And I noticed all of her shingles were gone under her panels because a raccoon had got on there, was digging at the shingles. She ended up getting a new roof. She actually had a beautiful roof, other than where the raccoon did this tore it. Well, at that point, she just got a whole new roof. But she was an elderly lady. She was up on the hill. She would have never been able to see up under the panels. The only way we were able to find it is I was up there and I looked under the panels.
Oh, wow.
So things like that, most people, you'd have no clue until there's water dripping down into your living room and somebody's calling and asking, hey, my panels are leaking. We get up there and find something like that. But now we're able to keep that constant, monitoring of the condition of the roof.
Yeah. Absolutely. I also think it'd be really great to highlight just the types of customers that we are able to service in this program, and what types of customers would need this type of program and what it all includes, all the points that we go over, the 8-point system check, all of that.
So our initial visit with a customer, we're going to do the 8-point inspection,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're bringing that customer's installation up to ES standard. Because as we both know, Felicia and Zach, not all installers are equal, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of interesting installs out there. And so as we go out, we're actually looking for any type of issues, and we want to bring it to our standard. So we're checking wire connections, production, we're checking to make sure attic runs are done right. We're checking inverters. We're just going through and doing a full 8-point inspection to make sure that customer, because we're taking that customer on now as they're our customer.
Correct.
So we want to bring that level of installation
Yes.
to the highest standard that we possibly can.
Yeah. That also includes monitoring as well.
Absolutely.
So then that way we can bring them into our ES Solar fleet and be able to regularly monitor their system and ensure that there's no future issues that pop up.
Sure. For definitely the inverters that are compatible with all the things that we're able to do. There's
Yes.
That's
as we know,
huge.
there's a few that
Yeah.
aren't.
In
but-
my opinion, that's huge because most customers, and Felicia knows this better than anyone, but most customers have no idea if their
Yeah.
system's working until months later when all of a sudden their power bills are really, really high.
Exactly.
So the monitoring aspect of it, and a lot of customers lost their monitoring. When their company goes out of business, they don't have monitoring anymore.
Exactly.
So they're 5-6 months sometimes down the road before they realize there's an issue. Or if we have monitoring, we get alerts, we can know right away.
We call up, hey Zach, your this looks like
We're coming out
panel
to
number
check it.
14 is not working. We need to change out an optimizer or whatever it may be.
Exactly.
That's the other cool thing when customers are getting a battery from us, we're sending our teams out there to do a full checkup on these customers as well. So all the time, customers, when I was out in the field, all the time I'd go to somebody's house and they're like, I don't even know if my solar's working. Right? I'm still getting a power bill or whatever the situation is, and we find all kinds of an array of issues that happened, and we're able to rectify those and take care of the customer and give them the experience they really wanted when they bought solar. Because solar is an amazing product if installed correctly.
For sure. Yeah, and we have to make sure it's installed correctly for the battery to work correctly. So yeah,
Exactly.
It's a win-win for everybody, right? So Felicia, maybe in closing, if there's customers watching this that want to know if their systems are working or maybe they need a new roof, like how do they go about figuring out if this is going to work for them?
So the best way to get in contact with us is contact us through our main line and reach our customer service department. When you do that, we can direct you from there to our enhanced services team. We have people who are available to talk to you about the different programs. We have anything from month to month or an annual basis type of program option. And we can kind of go over the different aspects of what type of system you have, if we need to do an assessment, and we can go from there to really truly determine what is going to work best for you from there.
Sure.
No, I appreciate. I mean, I don't know if there's any more questions, but I appreciate you coming on, and it's been fun working with you and seeing what the changes. I think this is the future of the industry.
It really is. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of orphan customers, or even customers that maybe still have a company that just did it wrong, or don't do batteries, or they need a new roof. And so there's so many things that you've brought to ES that's going to be of value to our customers, and that's what matters most to us.
It's been super exciting to go down this journey, whether it's somebody just buying solar for the first time, or if it's a customer that they're getting a new roof and they need somebody to come take care of them. We're able to help from A to Z, every end of their solar and roofing journey now.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
And yeah, that's all we have for today. So thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.